I'm here with Regina Louise, best-selling author, motivational speaker and Hoffman teacher with a movie made about her life, which I have to say, welcome, Regina Louise, welcome.
Hey, Lizzie, how are you, darling?
I'm very well, thank you. I have to say I have a massive artistic crush on you.
That's it. Now that's hot right there.
Yeah, straight off the bat, I'm going to tell you that because you have written 2 autobiographical books and you're on your 3rd book at the moment, which you've just handed in your very, very, very last edit. Is that correct?
Right. So I'm at the stage now. Today is Wednesday. So Monday, I handed in, which is, we say the final pass. It goes to the copy editor. She looks at the edits that I responded to as a result of inquiries that she made from her previous, and then she integrates it. But also, I just had a taste of what this next offering is about, and it's a contribution to the personal growth demographic. But what's so amazing, Lizzie, last night my acquisitions editor, the person who actually acquired my project, sent me a prototype of how the inside of the book will be formatted. I started weeping. I cried. Because anybody who knows me knows that I am what folks call extra, okay? I love anything filigree. I love anything lacy. I love anything that is curly cues and hoop-de-doos. I love roses. I love French provincial. I love English roses in particular, because there's one named Regina Louise. And last but not least, I love wingbats, those fancy little section breakers that are used in like romantic novels.
Oh, yes. I
I
think,
am so
what's his name? The Power of Now, he has them in his.
we have the same, we're from the same publishing house. Funny you should notice.
Oh, name dropping, I love it. Oh,
Just saying.
I want to celebrate you right now because that is beyond amazing. Like if you check out at the real Regina Louise, please, I'm going to put all the links in the chat box. You can follow her. You've got these beautiful creative posts on Instagram, which I absolutely love. And also you and I were on a course together and I was so honored to meet you there. And instantly I got this kind of burst of character from you straight through the screen. And I was like, oh, I love this woman. And you immediately went, Lizzie Allan, I love you. And I like that about you.
And you know what they say, you spot it, you got it, okay? So all you did was recognize yourself, baby boo. So we good.
Yeah, and so I was trying to watch your film the other day and I cannot get it in Canada and it's killing me.
Okay, I'll send you a link.
Thank you. Thank you. And so I want to talk about I'm not going to go into your past because I think, there's enough. If you look up on YouTube, you can see millions of amazing interviews with Regina. You can see her on the red carpet. You can see cool things. You can grab her books, all of that stuff. So I'm not going to deep dive into that. But what I do want to say is, like me and like so many others, you've been through trauma, you've been through loss, you've been through life. And how can you tell us a bit more about how you manifested all of this creativity, how you allowed it to come through you? Give us some tips, some pointers, what got you through?
What a beautiful segue into unpacking, or rather making a contribution to spirit, right? And as you mentioned, we were in a class together, and part of why I have signed up for these different classes is to understand the questions you just posited. How, why? And what I do know, better understand, is I have always been connected to my spiritual essence. And just to sort of put this in a different kind of context, earlier today, I was in therapy. I've been in therapy for 30 plus years, mainly to have a, relationships that are very, very super healthy. And I just enjoy being mentoring. I use therapy more so as a mentorship. And anyway, I was speaking with my therapist slash mentor, and I was sharing with her a comment that my stepmother said on Facebook, which was a comment given in response to me informing people that my biological mother had passed away. And my stepmother, I grew up in foster care. So for my stepmother, who I've written about, who the movie was made and she's a character in, for her to reach out and say, the photo you put on Instagram of your mother is the first time I've ever seen a photo of your mother, and I'm sorry for your loss. And at that point, I said to her, thank you for trying your best to love this hot mess called me that my mother and my father created and kind of dumped on you. I'm really sorry for that, although the movie doesn't depict it that way. And I said, secretly, I would have loved to have been your daughter, but, circumstances as they were, it was just too charged. I was in too much pain to know how to articulate that as a child. And she said something that will hopefully help answer the question even more. She said, "You'll always be one of mine." And then she said, "I did everything I could, the best I could, to hold on to your unbridled brilliance." Lizzie, I just started crying. I had searched my whole life to find people who had seen me, who could see me, who could attest to some fact about me. And I've that's been hard to find. When that woman said that, I was floored because I was in the process of just finishing my book. This just happened last week. And in the book, one of the main themes is, what is this thing? How have I been able to do what I've been able to do? And what it all comes down to is that unbridled brilliance was spirit. It was a spiritual intelligence that guided me. Some people call it a gut instinct. Some people call it God. Some people call it Jesus. Call it what you want. But for me, what resonates with me is that unbridled brilliance is spirit in action. And I listened. I've always listened to my spirit. I have a direct, communication. And that unbridled, the idea of it being unbridled is no one could or did choose to connect with me in a way where they could attune and mold that innocence, that brilliance, that curiosity, that passion into what would become myself or my personality. So as a young wildling in the world, you may as well say it, every aspect of my life was unbridled, was, oh my God. So I can honestly say that, that footsteps prayer, where were you? And Spirit says, in those times when you only saw one set of footprints, that's because I was carrying you. I can say that it is Spirit that has carried me. I don't need to be egotistical and try to take all the try to take all the credit as I have done in the past because I was too afraid of sounding woo-woo. But you know what? It's going to be woo-woo today. And that's how I did it.
I am on you with the woo-woo tip, and that's where we met, at woo-woo school, isn't it?
We did.
For anyone, when you said unbridled brilliance, I got the shivers, and I got that. Yeah, that I was listening to another spiritual teacher the other day, a mutual friend of ours, Reverend Cassandra, and she was talking about our essential goodness, which is that same, that unbridled, brilliant art, and essential goodness, which is like the gold underneath the layers of mud that we have on top of us. The Buddha story, that they found that golden Buddha under all that mud. And what I absolutely heard, and what I see in you as a person, and what I experience in you as a writer, and I love I'm on your first book at the moment. I'm sort of 3/4 of the way through. I find I have to pick it up and put it down, and I have been so, because I know you through this beautiful school that we go to, and anyone who's listening, it's the Center for Spiritual Living, which is practical techniques, practical spiritual tools for living, all the manifesting and visions and meditation and prayer, that kind of stuff, but unreligious, which is, I'm just going to pop that in there. And I have searched up your movie many times and then gone, I can't watch it right now, I'm going to cry too much. There's so much weight to your early life, the heaviness of kind of moving around to different foster homes and things like that. And when you talk about that unbridled brilliance, there was that flash of feeling across my body from spirit, because I also am very connected to spirit, and have been my whole life, which I didn't always know about. I forced my will many times, but I have learned through, in the last couple of years, probably more than ever before, to surrender into the flow and things like that. And so it's so exciting for me to get to your third book, which is coming out, because this is you moving into a whole different level of service, right? And this is what excites me, is that our creativity, if our unbridled brilliance in the form of our creativity, whether it's your music or your dancing or your, whatever it is that you do out there, that is how do we serve with that? And you are doing that. And this third book that you're bringing out, you've had such a ride with it. I know, because I've had a couple of chats with you, and it's a self-development, it's a personal development book. It's you're helping people to help themselves, and you have an audience, a huge audience of people who need to hear your voice. So, okay, so the book's done. Let's say it's on the shelves, it's flying off. What is the next big project for you?
Great question. Well, I want to build this next offering. I want to build it out. I want to build training programs around it. I'd like to offer group coaching around it. I think it has the potential to touch, move, and inspire people in ways that's scalable, in ways that invite action, in order for all of us really to play our deepest desires forward. And I would love to create ancillary products as well, whether that be workshops, whether that be in person, online, Zoom. That's where I'm at right now, is how do I create this experience in a box, so to speak, and scale it in a way that does exactly what you suggested, is helping people to help themselves. Because I think that's what it comes down to for me, is all I've ever known. All I know is the anatomy of self-guidance, the anatomy of self-love, self-support, self-sufficiency. And I'm excited, Lizzie, when you ask what's next, it's such a beginning, right? What I am hoping that my editor and I give to the space of personal growth, metaphysical living, self-help. What I'm hoping we do is shift a very homogenous, right, space that, I think if I think of the only diversity within this space that I'm currently aware of. I mean, Deepak Chopra is definitely, would fit that. And now Resma McKenna's book, and I think Ayanna Van Zant and Lisa Nichol. But if you think 169,000 books are released each year, and so many of them disappear and we never hear, they never quite land. As a Black identified woman, I am so excited to explore this space. I mean, what makes this book so crazy? Like, I didn't even know it was happening. That's why I know Spirit had its fingerprints all over this, Lizzie. One of the people that I interview, there's some surprises, so I just won't give them up. But one of the people I interview is a U.S. Olympic polo player, right? And he literally, with his team, closed a 40-year losing streak at the 1972 Olympic Games, where something really tragic happened on a global scale, not so unlike the situation we are all in right now on this global scale of being adversely and just affected by the pandemic. But anyway, I'm so excited to be able to unpack so many of the different relationships with the people that I have engaged with over the course of my experience of being this unbridled brilliance, and all the beautiful and brilliant people that I have brought in. So that's what's next, is to be with that, to relish in the fact that this is a dream come true. Having this book, writing this book, sitting with myself, staying with the discomfort, staying with the truth of who I am, and then wrestling, grappling on the page to make meaning out of that. It's as much a gift to me about who I am as it is a gift to other people about what could be possible for them. Because like you and I both know, if it is true for me that I'm made in the likeness and I am a direct emanation of pure spirit, then that's true for you too. So that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm going to be up to next, is how to have these sorts of conversations in spaces where these sorts of conversations for people who look like me haven't necessarily happened. To have a Black woman, a regular, everyday, round the way kind of girl, show up in the space of personal growth. Okay, dude, where is she? We all know Gabby. What's her name? Gabby Bernstein. We all know Deepak. We all know, what's his name? Eckhart Tolle. Where are the sisters? And so my hope, what's next, is that y'all know Regina Louise.
Yeah, indeed. And I would like to invite you, once all of this ridiculousness is over, I would like you to come up here to White Rock and do a retreat. Would you do a retreat in our beautiful studios? And I don't know, we could wrap it into we could film it, we could create some stuff around it.
Girl,
Should we do it? Should we do it?
Girl, if you say that you have a artistic or creative crush on me, like we just made out right there. When you just said that, that was it. Okay. It's like the deal is done. Okay. Like,
Okay, I'm embarrassed.
okay, we are in. Okay, it's done. See, that's
It's
how I
already
live my life. Like you say something like that, all I have to say is, and so it is.
And so it is. I believe that, and we'll solidify you a few other big talks. Because how many times have you talked to the public? Because you're an amazing speaker.
I travel, well, sans the last 11 months, I've now addressed tens of thousands of people in 28 states. I'd love to get all of the states, under my belt, if you will. And I get called back to different places. Like I have my hot spots that they call me back, and especially back east. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to dropping down into the South and getting some invitations there. And but we have to get back to some, order of business that can sustain such a thing. But I am excited. I will speak anywhere to anybody in any way. Like, speaking of speaking, I just remembered, because I've spoken so much with so many luminaries. It's kind of crazy. I don't know if you know who Ann Richards is. She was the venerable governor of Texas, very, very highly revered and much loved. And I just remembered, as I was finishing up a chapter on a strategy, and I felt so excited to bring her in. I actually made a post about it because I'd forgotten. Like, I've met so many celebrities, so many people, and I forget, but I went back and I wrote about her. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm just excited to have more experiences, because for me, it's not about a celebrity, because it's like we should all be celebrated, because that's what celebrity means, right? When you really break it down, it's this constant adulation, this constant celebrity. Well, I say take that and turn all of that positive projection onto ourselves, onto
That might be a nice retreat title, to sort of get that inner celebrity going on.
you better see, you better preach.
We are coming to the end of time, so let's wrap this up. And everybody can check out the chat box. You are just gorgeous, fabulous, brilliant, awesome, and I thank you so much for giving me your time today. We really appreciate it on Lockdown with Lizzie. You have been and always are somebody very, very highly regarded by me, and now I've managed to get you out there to my friends as well. So big love. Thank you for being on the show.
All right, baby girl. Until next time, much love, Lizzie.